Yo, what is up guys? Today I'm going to be running you through my daily routine as a multiple business owner in the fitness industry whilst living out here in Bali. Now, this is something that I used to struggle with so much, and this kind of summarizes my life really. Everything that used to be my biggest liability, which was my fitness, used to be incredibly skinny fat and in a horrendous shape, and also used to be the kid that lacked productivity. I could not focus. My head is just like a fucking ADHD machine. So I was like, right, my mission is gonna be turn every single liability I have into an asset. I hear too many people saying, oh, I've got ADHD, I can't focus. Oh, I'm just fat, I'm just skinny, I can't get in shape. No, every single liability you have has the ability to become an asset. So a huge turning point for me, which helped with my fitness and my business, was bringing in and incorporating a daily routine. Now, I have been evolving this for the last few years. Even on a weekly basis, I'll fine tune it. I'm always studying productivity, and I'm always studying and just taking in and being self-aware on actually how my routine is working for me. Okay, like, right, that didn't work that well there. I think I could have been more productive. Why weren't I so productive? Okay, maybe I need to change this with my lifestyle, or with my nutrition, or with my sleep. And just understanding as well what your body actually likes when it comes to optimizing productivity. So I have built this around my productivity spells in terms of where I am the most productive and where I'm not. So when I run you through this routine, I don't want you to go and just copy this straight away, because this is optimized to around how my brain works and what I have to do in the day. Everybody can have a different daily routine. There is no, oh, some guys that work first thing in the morning are going to be more successful. Some guys who I see out here who are very successful entrepreneurs work late into the night. There's no right or wrong, but I'll run you through exactly why I do what I do based on the data and studies I've seen. So for me, I start my day at 4 a.m. in the morning. My alarm goes off at 4 a.m. I usually do wake up 2, 3, 5 minutes before my alarm goes off, in all fairness. And that is just because my body clock has become so adapted to waking up at that time. So that first 30 minutes, I'll wake up, I'll shower, I'll never snooze my alarm. I'm a big fan of not snoozing an alarm, because as soon as you do that, it gets you set off in a bad routine for the day. If you get up, even when you feel absolutely fucked, put yourself into the best posture you can and get in the shower. Hot shower to start with, cold shower at the end, not for all these health benefits people talk about, simply just to wake you the fuck up and get your brain sharp. Then I head downstairs. I come in to the back of the kitchen and I'll make myself either a black coffee or a matcha. I'll actually not drink this straight away. I'll put that on my desk behind me, and I'll consume 1 liter to 1.5 liters of water, and I'll also have 500 ml of turmeric and ginger juice, which is going to be great for reducing inflammation. My whole diet and nutrition setup is built around optimizing my physique from a physique development standpoint, but also from a productivity standpoint, in terms of I want to reduce as much inflammation and cortisol as possible and maximize my energy throughout the day. And that morning setup, really staying fasted from a nutritional standpoint, but staying hydrated, caffeinated, is a really good way to start the morning. So 4:30 comes, I will be sat behind me and I'll have the lights very dim, noise cancelling earphones in. I use the Bose, I think they're called like Quiet Comforts, but the in-ear ones. And that really just allows me to focus. Without those, even in a quiet room, I struggle, in all honesty. I can focus for an hour, maybe a bit more, but you've got to get into a flow of deep work. There's some incredible books on productivity and getting shit done. One of my favorite ones is called The One Thing, and there's another book called Deep Work. And these are very, very good books, which will help you run through that. And some of the principles from these I've got incorporated into my life. So effectively, the book The One Thing talks heavily about, if you've got an end goal and you dial that all the way back into a daily action and a daily habit, you want to get that boxed off in the morning. So if you've got a North Star goal and where you want to be, what would you need to do this year to get that goal boxed off? What would you need to do this month to get the year goal boxed off? What would you need to do this week to get the month goal boxed off? What would you need to do today to get the week goal boxed off? And that task there is what you want to be doing for a 4-hour work block in the morning. Now, you may be saying, oh, but I've got work at 9. Well, I would be getting up, and this is the exact reason my day starts at 4. Honestly, there's been certain times when I've been working from Dubai, and depending on what my routines are and what else I've got scheduled in, I'll sometimes start at 3 a.m. You've just got to make sure that your evening routine allows for that. So 4:30 till 8:30, I focus on my one thing, which is the biggest leverage to move me forwards. From there, I'll finish that work block. I'll have my noise cancelling earphones in the whole time with some basically music on a very low volume, and that will have no lyrics, just to remove all distraction, put me into flow state. I'll just have nothing on my table at all, just water, and that is simply it. From there, I head to the gym. So out in Bali, it's sweet. I love the change from like being so focused on work, and then you kind of just jump straight back out to reality. You get on the scooter, on the bike, nip down the road to the gym, and then I'm usually in the gym no longer than 60 minutes. So at the minute, I'm doing a push, pull, legs, chest and back, delts and arms split, and effectively this is just 5 days a week. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'll be training. Even on my rest days, I will go at this time, but I just do cardio and steps on the days I'm not. I just like to keep my morning literally a clone 7 days a week. So it doesn't matter if it's a Sunday, a Saturday, a Tuesday, I am doing the same morning routine every single day. I've always got my one thing focused in the morning from 4:30 till 8:30, and then the gym. Then on certain days, if I do want to take time out, I'll take the time out after that, because I know I've boxed off the one thing, which is going to lever me forward with my career and help with clients. And then I've also nailed my training. They're the two non-negotiables in my life, because even if you just do that 4-hour work block heavily focused with no distraction, phone in a box in another room, noise cancellers in, and I've got my training done, even doing just that bit of the day, you're going to be ahead of 99.9% of the population. So for me, they're non-negotiable 7 days a week. If I were taking a day off, I would simply just finish there and I'd go and enjoy the rest of the day. But for me, I come back, 9:45, I have a meal. So I order from a place out here in Bali called Dispensary. It's a meal prep company. I don't cook out here. Honestly, it's just as cheap to order the food, and it's a very high-end meal prep company. So I think it might only cost 12, 13 pounds UK per meal, but all very high quality. So I'll have all my meals from there during the day. 10 o'clock, sun, pool, and audiobook. Now, this window for me, I've trialed and played around with this a lot. Now, I'm not a productive person once I've done that initial work block. So I'll do 4 hours, I'll go to the gym, I'll have a meal. After that meal, I'm not that productive because carbohydrates are high in my post-workout meal. And at that point there, I just want to chill out. Like, I've still got so many hours left in the day to be productive, and I've already done a shitload in the morning. So for me, I take my downtime here rather than later on. So I take an hour and a half out, I get outside and sit by the pool in the sun, get an hour to an hour and a half of sun, audiobook in. At the minute, I've literally just finished the one thing again. I'm a big fan of when you're reading books, like people like to just read a million books and it kind of just goes in and out. I'm a big fan of read often. I try and do at least a book a week, sometimes 2 books a week, but I very often go over the same books again and just go harder and deeper into them. I don't think you need hundreds and hundreds of different books. I think you just need to find your 5 to 10 life-changing books and just hammer in on them and keep going through them. So for me, 10 till 11:30 is my time for just relaxing, switching off from work. Again, my phone's inside in a box, so I've got my Audible connected, but no phone outside, no scrolling Instagram. I'm heavily just dialed back, relaxed, focused into the book, taking in knowledge. Sometimes I'll take out my journal and pen, make some notes on that book. I always find when I'm writing stuff down that everything sinks in. But if it's a book I've read a few times, I'll just let it sink in and just kind of deep into what I'm listening to. 11:30 till 1:30, I go back into a 2-hour work block then. So my one main thing that's my biggest lever will be done first thing in the morning. From there, I'll basically have my other tasks for the day to get done. So I'll always have a huge to-do list. But what I often find is your to-do list isn't what makes you move forward with your career. Your one thing here is what makes you move forward every day. This stuff is just simply fulfillment. Your to-do list usually is actually just maintenance of a business, and that's obviously a huge part of the business which needs to be done great, but that one thing I get done in the morning, and that's because discipline and willpower fades. So effectively, all the client fulfillment work that I do 11:30 to 1:30 and then another block later on, I'm not gonna miss that because it's my client's work. Whereas if I had something that weren't something that was the obvious thing to do, and I put that later on in the day, you're more likely to procrastinate on it. So I get it boxed off, get it focused, and then I do all my client fulfillment work during the day on different businesses. At 1:30 then, I have my second dispensary meal prep delivered. So 1:30 till 2:30, I actually take, instead of a 15-minute window, an hour window to just dial back. I sit either on the sofa or on the table, usually on the table again behind me, but I sit in a different chair. My deep work focused chair is like the chair I sit in when I'm focused and I'm working, but I'll never eat in that chair. It's like when people say don't work and fucking shag and sleep in the same bed. You've got to have a set place to work so you can get back into that deep focus spot. So for me, I take an hour out, I'll sit at the other end of the table in a different spot with an educational video from a course that I've purchased or someone I'm working with, or even just something on YouTube potentially. If it's the one thing that I'm looking for information on, I'll go and search that. I tend not to watch YouTube too much, just generalized. I'll be looking for one specific thing that I want to study and get better at. So whilst I'm eating my meal, I'll do that and I'll watch that series of videos. Usually though, it is a course that I've purchased. Now 2:30 till 5:30, this is my last main work focus block. So at the moment, recently, this is me been working on the Elect One Lifestyle Launcher University. I've been building everything out for the university at this time of the day and just basically building out all the presentations, filming the videos, building everything for launch. But obviously depending on where I am in different phases of the year, this is gonna be filled with different things, but effectively I'll have a 4-hour block, a 2-hour block, and a 3-hour block. So that's the amount of deep focus work, and then I've got my study and admin stuff on top of that. So this takes me to 5:30. At 5:30, I'll then go on a beach walk. So I drive down to the beach. I usually either do it with my mate or someone else, just a randomer, who knows, and I'll walk down the beach and just relax. I'll literally leave my phone. I'll just walk down the beach, have a good conversation with someone, and this is my timeout. It's not listening to an audiobook. It's not business. It's simply just taking in nature, grounding on the beach, and this is my cortisol dump for the day. Just relieve stress, and obviously it's good from an expenditure point and works towards my fitness goals as well. 6:30 till 7:30, I block out an hour for a meal. Sometimes I'll go out for a meal and just basically go to another high-end place where I can get everything to my macros pretty much, or I'll come back here and I'll get my meal delivered again, and I'll just watch another educational video at the same time. So usually in a day, I've got an hour to an hour and a half of audiobook when I'm outside. I've got 1-hour block earlier in the day of study with a meal, and then potentially another hour of study with a meal. And this is deep focus study on something. So it's coming up to 9 hours really of deep focus work on the biggest levers in my business, plus around 3 hours of taking in education and knowledge to move me forward. So every single day, I know that I've done my to-do list, I've fulfilled everything with clients, I've also worked on the one thing to move me forwards with my business and fitness, and then I'm always going to be going to sleep knowing that I'm better than I were when I woke up. And this is why, honestly, every couple of months, I look back at myself a couple of months ago and think, that's fucking embarrassing. And when you look back at yourself a couple of months ago, if you're not embarrassed at who you were, you're probably not moving fast enough. So I have my day structured around optimizing growth. I'm just trying to move at the fastest pace whilst having the highest quality of life possible, because honestly, like different things fulfill different people. For some people, it's money. For some people, it might be happiness. Some people, it might be travel. For me, genuinely, it is like knowledge. Like, I want to become an expert in all the fields I'm passionate about. So fitness, become an expert in that and getting the most elite results. I also love business and understanding how you can help your clients with the agency business to get the best results for them. So it's like I'm obsessed with learning. And for me, if I don't feel like I've learned in a day and improved myself, my personal development physically and mentally, so working on my physique in the gym and my mindset and my education, I feel really unfulfilled. So for me, if I take that forward, that's my biggest priority to make me feel good. And then as a knock on, my physique's gonna get better, my career's gonna improve, but that's all coming down to one thing, which is knowledge. 7:30 till 8, this is kind of like my dial down period. This is the first little mini work block where I won't be on the table with my laptop. I'll usually just be over on the sofa in front of the TV over there, not that the TV's ever on, to be fair, and I'll literally just be on my phone, again, not on social media. I'll simply just be running through admin, replying to client messages, making sure every client is up to date within the businesses. And if there's any other communication regarding staff or even subcontractors, anything that need my assistance, I can kind of go back to. I kind of follow the 10-80-10 rule, which is if I'm working with staff, it could be, I'll kind of say, this is what we're doing at the start. I have to pass out that work to be done, and then it may be reviewing it and tweaking stuff. So I do that in the evening because it's not very taxing on me and it allows me to get everything done first. So that is my day pretty much done. From here then, at 8 o'clock, I go upstairs to bed, jump in the shower, and I've basically got from 8 to 8:30, no phone, to dial down and just get ready for bed. So I'm in bed for 8:30, and by 9 o'clock, lights out, I'll be passed out. I'll be absolutely passed out. So for me, that's how I get my 7 hours. And it's not that, you know, you have to be an early morning person, but based on all the study of like discipline and willpower, your willpower is a battery. So you start the day at 100%. You've got the most discipline at the start of the day, and it runs out every day until you've recovered and driven that energy up. So for me, to not do that one thing first thing in the morning and get up early, which is my fitness and the one thing with my fitness and the one thing with my business, I get those boxed off first. So I'm not saying you have to do this. I'm just saying this is how I optimize my day based on what I found works best for me and literally what a lot of other studies have shown is optimal. But I do know a lot of people that get great results working in the evening and go into bed really late, waking up later. There's no right and wrong. It is what works best for everyone. But for me, 100%, get into bed early, waking up really early, getting everything really important boxed off in the morning, then having some downtime and then client fulfillment throughout the day and some dial down time in the evening, because I used to be that guy that just worked solid all the way through the day, but my productivity, despite being busy, would be actually not very good. So I get myself to bed for 8:30. I'm as disciplined with this as I am my training and nutrition because I want my 7 hours. If I don't get them 7 hours, the productivity again in the day will be down. So I reverse engineer it. I go, right, I want to start my day at 4. So I need to work back from there, which is effectively 9 o'clock to get me to 7 hours. And I'm also not going to fall asleep the second I walk in my bedroom. So I go back another half an hour from there. So that's how I structure my day. Guys, I hope you're taking a lot of value from this. Like I said, this is just my routine. This is what works best for me based on the data and studies I've seen, and also a lot of self-awareness from me taking note and understanding how my body does like to operate on a day-to-day basis over years of working on the physique and my business. So I've really fine-tuned this into myself. And you know, there's nothing to say that in a few weeks I won't have fine-tuned it a little bit more and it might be a little bit different. So don't be surprised if you see another one of these where I'm saying, you know what, Tom, you were a dickhead a month ago. I don't know why you had it set up like that. But for me, this, as far as I know right now, is as good as I can have my day set out. And it is by far the most progress I've ever made with my physique and with my business. So guys, I hope you're taking a lot of value. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you don't follow me on Instagram already, follow me at Tom D. Pearson.